Nowadays, it's almost normal for employees to get work clothes. But what about business owners? What conditions must be met for work clothes to be accounted for? Are they always deductible? We'll talk about this and more in today's episode. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Business Lessons in Denmark podcast. I'm your host, Rezső Almácsi, and I'll be chatting with Katalin Balogh from Cool Accounts APS, a Danish accounting firm. Hi, Kati. How about we start with the listener's question today?
That's all right. What's the listener question?
We discussed the transport deduction a few episodes ago, and we received a question related to it. In that episode, you said that it's not mandatory to take the shortest route to work because a longer route might be faster, more manageable, or better for some other reason.
Yeah, that's right.
The listener, who wishes to remain anonymous due to the nature of the question, asks if they can take a bigger detour to work so that the journey becomes longer than 24 kilometers. Or even drive around town to accumulate kilometers.
Oh my God. Well, that's quite a creative interpretation of the rules, I must say.
Yeah, it certainly is maybe a bit too creative.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to disappoint the listener. According to tax rules, the length of the normal transport route must be considered when calculating the deduction, and deviations are only allowed if the longer route is faster or safer or justified by some other similar reason. Even then, the additional kilometers must remain within reasonable limits.
I see. So it's not okay to add an extra 50 kilometers to the normal route by taking a detour to work or driving around and around just to get more tax-based deduction.
No, definitely not. There have been specific cases where the tax office didn't accept the kilometers because they weren't justified.
Yes, that's completely understandable. Well, thank you for the question, dear listener. I think with such creativity, you can go far if you use it in the right direction.
Absolutely. Now, Rezső, how is your business going? How is the photography?
Thank you, Kati. I'm so busy, I can't complain. There is a lot of work. I even worked over the weekend last week. However, another question came up. As a photographer, a good appearance is quite important. But it's frustrating that a large part of my money goes to constantly buying shirts and pants because they wear out from my washing or sometimes tear when I have to work on location. There will be times when I didn't notice a bush and got caught on it. Of course, my pants didn't win that battle and tore. I know there's something called work clothes. Is there no way for me to account for my clothes as work clothes as a business owner?
Oh, Rezső, did you really get caught on a bush?
Believe me, it was only funny from the outside. My smile wasn't very sincere.
Oh, I see.
But back to my question. Is there no solution for me?
Yes, there is a solution. As a business owner, you can account for work clothes, but there are specific rules.
I'm glad to hear that. Can we look at these rules? What exactly are work clothes and when can you get a tax deduction for them?
Sure. Let's start with the fact that tax rules generally consider clothing used during work as private expenses because wearing clothes is a private matter, even if you are wearing them while working.
I got it. I would be wearing clothes anyway, but as a photographer, I can't go to a wedding shoot in a t-shirt or wear out jeans. The fact that I have to appear relatively elegant, a shirt, decent pants, shoes is somehow related to my job, right?
I understand what you are saying, but according to the rules, since these clothing items can be used for private purposes, they can't be treated as work clothes and accounted for as expenses in your business. Even if you personally prefer more comfortable clothing and only buy these items for work, they still can't be deducted.
So the main factor is whether the clothing item can be used for private purposes.
Yes, exactly. If the clothing can be used privately, even if you don't use it privately, because you only wear that certain blue or white shirt for photo shoots, if it's suitable for private use, it can be deducted in your business as work clothes.
So let me turn this around, Kati. If it were some sort of specialized clothing, could it be deducted?
Yes, exactly. The sector you work in might not be the best example here because as a photographer, you don't really need specialized clothing. But I have clients in construction, for example. On large construction sites, steel-toed shoes are mandatory to avoid stepping in nails or similar hazards. This is clearly a specialized clothing item and can be deducted as an expense without any issues because it's not for private use.
I see. There are quite a few professions where specialized clothing is necessary, like doctors and nurses' scrubs or protective helmets in construction.
Yes, exactly. Or uniforms for drivers, paramedics, firefighters, although many of these professions aren't typically pursued as business owners, but the same principle applies to employees. Such specialized clothing is clearly considered as work clothes.
Okay, it sounds logical, but I'm a bit sad because it seems there is no solution for my situation.
But there is. You know, I never let you down. And this time I also have a solution for you too.
Great, Kati. Thank you. I'm all ears.
There is a rule that if your logo or company name is visibly displayed on the clothing, it counts as work clothes, even if it's everyday clothing. But the logo must be clearly visible.
Now that sounds better. So if my shirt has my company's logo and maybe my phone number clearly visible on the front or back, it can be deducted as a work expense?
Yes, exactly. Or you can even include your phone number or anything else you want, like a slogan or something. Otto Photography, best photos in Denmark.
Oh, thank you, Kati. But plenty of other photographer in Denmark. So, who is better than me? That's not my slogan. My slogan is light, composition, and feelings. And, yeah.
That's also a good slogan.
Yeah. But I would include my phone number under the logo because it would also be a good promotion, right?
Right. Look at it this way. When you go to the dentist, physiotherapy or massage, everyone from the dentist to the assistant or the messer and the entire clinic staff, they wear simple shirts, but with the logo on them.
Yes, I guess because then the shirt can be deducted as work clothes and it's also a good promotion for the clinic.
Yes. And it also looks more professional when everyone wears the same shirt and pants. When you walk in, you immediately know who belongs to the staff and who is there for treatment.
Yeah, it's true. And do I have to buy my work clothes from specialized stores or can I buy a shirt anywhere and iron, sew the logo on myself? I mean, my wife, I'm not that good at sewing.
There is no restriction on that. If your wife has enough time, she can do it. But there are companies that specialize in textile printing or, as you mentioned, workwear stores also offer this service. You choose the shirt, sweater, jacket, or whatever you want, and they put the logo on it.
Great, Kati. So this problem is solved too. Well, I know what to do. Thank you for the useful information, Kati.
You are welcome. I'm glad to help.
All right. The only thing left is to say goodbye for now. Thank you, dear listener, for being with us, and we will meet again next week. Today's episode was sponsored by Cool Accounts APS. If you want to take your business to the next level, contact us through our website, www.accounts.cool. And for useful and up-to-date information, follow our Facebook page. We wish you a successful week.